Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is avoid suffering, act quicker. Well, if I think back to my own life and most of the suffering, it was normally, it's caused by doing something that you find out later you shouldn't do, but then not acting fast enough to end whatever it is that you're doing. For example, I probably talked about this before, about playing basketball back in high school, and I didn't enjoy it for, the 2 years in grade school and 3 years in high school, and then I finally quit before my senior year. And so it's 5 years basically of suffering playing basketball when I finally quit in my senior year and ended the suffering. But if I would have just quit after that first year, I would have had 4 less years of suffering, right? If I would have acted quicker with quitting something that isn't good for me, I would have had a much, much, much better life. I have my book on my website at happierman.com, and the book is titled Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with the 3-Step Systems. You can read about it on the website. And if you have a bad marriage, certainly you should check into that book. It would save your life if you got a bad marriage. But anyway, I learned I didn't leave my wife until it was just horribly bad for me. It was at the absolute rock bottom part of my life. If I could have left earlier, years prior, months prior, however, anything earlier, I would have had a much better life. I would have gotten to this happier life that I'm enjoying now much, much, much more quickly. Now, anybody can always look back and say, well, if you would have just done it sooner, everything would have been better. Well, I'm just saying, hurry up, try to make those decisions faster, act quickly. If you're suffering, that has to be your priority to figure out how to end the suffering. Act fast, not slow. Don't tolerate, don't deal, don't be patient. That isn't good for you. If you're suffering in whatever it is that you're suffering with, you want to expend all your energy, all your thinking, all your planning, all your might on ending the suffering, right? So that's priority number one. So that's kind of the immediate problem versus the future problem. If you're suffering in a bad marriage, the immediate problem is you can't get along with this person. Every day of your life, every minute is just misery. Yeah, the long-term problem is, what are you going to do about the kids, the money, the retirement, the house, the in-laws, all your life that's built up about it. All of that is future problems. But the immediate problem is, how do you deal with your life on a day-to-day basis? That's what you have to end the suffering. All those other things will work their way out, right? You have to end the suffering now, quickly. You don't want to wait. It's like you hurt yourself. You did something damaging to yourself. However, it happened, right? So you have to figure out a way to stop that pain fast, right? And do whatever it takes to end the pain. Get to the doctor, get help, get treatment, take medications, get the surgery, get it set, whatever. The suffering, a long-term suffering with a hurt body, that doesn't help you. And we see this all the time, don't we? People suffering for long periods of time with a problem that they could have done something with. You see a lot of older people with they need a new hip, they need a new knee, they need some kind of a treatment, they need some kind of an operation. And what they normally do is they wait and wait and wait for months and months and years, suffering under that. And why? You're going to need that new knee, that new hip anyway. Do it now. Do it now. And act quicker. End the suffering. See, I had like 2 different hernia operations. My first one I did in the year January of 2013, and I had hurt myself and noticed I had this hernia like a couple of years prior. And I just kind of limped along with this hernia and babied myself and didn't do much and avoided lifting and kind of let my life deteriorate because of the hernia. And I finally got it fixed, and it took a while to recover. But then a few years later, I noticed I had another hernia, and I was able to get that thing fixed within about a month of my discovering that I had it. About a month. That's kind of the difference, is as I'm learning, you act quicker, more decisively. I don't let my life fall apart and suffer for very long anymore. I make sure I take care of these issues as fast as I can, right? That lesson alone will save you enormous amounts of pain and suffering in your life. You're going to have a tremendously better life the quicker you act to end your suffering. All for now.